What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about, does Zion Williamson still have a chance to be Rookie of the Year? So let's see what they have to say about that.
Does Zion have any shot at catching Ja for Rookie of the Year?
No, too many games have passed, and Ja has played at too high a level. So
Max is right.
Ja Morant's played half a season. He has a half a season lead. And this is coming from someone who believes you add Zion to this team, I think they can make the playoffs. They're 3.5 back, and maybe that's even over Ja's team. But that would be because of his teammates also, not just him in a vacuum. You're adding an almost all-star level player for half a season to a team that's close. Ja
Max is right.
Morant is also, by the way, explosive and exciting, and whose highlights are going to be on SportsCenter and this show and other places. Also breathes life and energy into a franchise, and not going to have the same minutes restrictions or anything like that, and is playing. Ja Morant's already playing at quasi all-star level. So imagine how much better you have to be than an all-star to overcome a guy who has half a season of work in at almost all-star level already. It's just too much time passed, and unlike a situation in the sport where like an Embiid's rookie year, right? You're really going to give it to this guy, he's not nearly as good. It's not like Ja is not sensational. He's sensational. And he's got a half a season head start. Zion can't.
Yeah, so I don't see Zion Williamson getting the Rookie of the Year, or he shouldn't be able to get Rookie of the Year, because Ja has just been killing it all year. Point being, he played all year. So to have a guy come in like Zion Williamson, he's going to be a baller. He's done a great job. I think his first game, he got 21 points. Don't quote me on that. And then his second game, I think, got 17 points. So, he's balling out of control, but you have to play the whole season or have a good chunk of the season played when you're going against, being an MVP or, Rookie of the Year or things of that nature. And for him to come in pretty much at midseason, yeah, you can't cheat Ja like that. But even bringing up that Zion Williamson could be Rookie of the Year, that's kind of insulting to Mr. Morant, who's been balling all year. So let's continue.
Win Rookie of the Year.
I think he can. I think he has a shot. I'm not saying he will, but the question is, does he have a shot? I think he does. Number one, he'd have to be healthy. Number two, I think he's going to average better than 20 a game. That's what I think he's going to average around 18 to 20. I should say better. 18 to 20 a game. And then double. And not only that, is Memphis going to remain successful? Is Ja Morant going to continue to excel? I believe the answer would be yes. If I had to bet my money, it would be on Ja Morant. But does Zion have a chance? The way he's going to be the focal point of the New Orleans Pelicans, the kind of shine that he's going to get, the kind of things that the voters are going to gravitate towards. Yes. There's another name that I like to mention other than Ja Morant, though, because I want to give this brother some love. How about this kid, Kendrick Nunn, out of Miami? Special. I like this kid. They're a piece away. They're a piece or two away. But I'm telling you right now, they can shoot perimeter shots. They're athletic. They got an open court game. They've got skywalkers.
Unfortunately for them, the Celtics are getting healthy.
And they've got perimeter shooters. You're right about Boston getting healthy. But I like Kendrick Nunn a lot as well. All I'm saying is this. To me, the biggest competition right now for Zion, because of his popularity, his stardom, etc., is Ja Morant. If Memphis tails off in any way, and simultaneously New Orleans ascends, and you could directly point to Zion's arrival, because you might ignore the fact that New Orleans has won 10 of their last 14 games, okay? And all of a sudden, they squeeze into that picture because Memphis descends, then I think he'd be in the position to snatch it.
Nah, I don't think he should be in the running at all. Like I said, Ja Morant, he's been playing all year. And there's something to be said about playing the whole time versus missing pretty much half the season. You can't just jump in there and override what everybody else did. It doesn't matter if Zion's a baller or anything like that. It's not about that. It's about, have you been playing all year? Have you been playing at a high level? And Zion hasn't been able to do that. He may play at a high level for the rest of the season, but like I said, he missed half the season that Ja Morant was putting in work and taking care of business. So I don't really see Zion Williamson being able to make it. That would be insult to Ja Morant. And it's kind of like the same situation with Kawhi Leonard. There's no way he can be MVP because you have other players that have been playing the whole time. They aren't going out on load management to the extent that he's going out on load management. So if you're going to do that much load management, don't expect to be MVP. Not that I think Kawhi Leonard expects that, but it's the same thing as Zion Williamson. If you miss half the season, Don't expect to be rookie of the year when there's other guys that are balling out of control, and they've done it the whole time. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Because of his popularity.
I first off want to give credit to Pat Riley and to Mickey Harrison. That's a great pickup on Kendrick Nunn. He played on the Golden State Warriors G League team last year.
Right.
Okay, and they found him. Great development for them.
Yeah.
To say that Zion Williamson does not have a chance to win Rookie of the Year, that's asinine. That's asinine, Max. I love you. That's just flat out wrong. It is half a season, but it's going to feel like 2 years with the way Zion is going to be pushed in our face.
That's right.
And if Zion is able to be healthy, they have a very dynamic team. He will average, I think he will average 18, maybe 15.
I say 18
just with the
20.
way he plays. He doesn't need the ball to average these type of numbers. And the fact is, he's a momentum type of player, man. He's going to be everywhere. Ja Morant is he's special talent, incredible talent. But I'm telling you, the way the Pelicans, with Drew Holiday who comes back, he might be one of the best two-way players we've seen in the game for a while. Alonzo Ball playing at a high level, Brandon Ingram playing at a high level. Zion will average those type of points in very quick minutes because of the way the Pelicans will play.
Yeah, but you have to be playing the whole season in order for that to be, in consideration. Like I said, it's not necessarily about his production or how much he does, but Ja Morant's been playing the whole time. It doesn't matter what his numbers are. I mean, it does, if he's killing it or not. But the fact is, he's only played half the season. And then you have Ja Morant and other players that have been playing the whole season and been balling out of control. So I don't really see how Zion Williamson will be able to win the Rookie of the Year. And it's not about who's the most popular. It's about what you've done on the court. And you have to be on the court in order to get consideration. And Zion has missed half the season. He's a baller. He's taking care of business. I'm happy that he's back. But you can't cheat Ja Morant like that and, not give him Rookie of the Year or even not consider it because Zion Williamson's come back and he's more popular and he's only played half the season. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
They do tail off. If he wins Rookie of the Year, then anyone who votes for Zion, that's an asinine vote. In other words, what you're saying is to make it wrong. Because you cannot, you say, he may average 15 to 18 points and he has really, really good teammates. What I'm saying is Ja Morant right now, already for half the season, has averaged 18 points and 7 assists and a steal a game for a team that, as of this moment,
shooting from the field.
Is in the playoffs at this moment.
So if they
don't make the playoffs,
if
it tails off and they don't make the playoffs, that's not because of Ja Morant. That's because he doesn't have.
Exactly. And you're going to be looking at his whole body of work. Again, he's not just the one-man show. There's other teammates that he has that, they're not pulling their weight, which is why they might miss the playoffs or whatever they want to call it. But like I said, his whole body of work, he's been balling the whole season. Zion Williamson is just now starting to play, and there's something to be said about playing the whole season. It's the same thing, like I said, with Kawhi Leonard. If you want to be out there for low management and missing games when you can play, they don't expect to be MVP when you have other guys out there that are playing night in and night out and getting injuries, but they're still playing. So it's the same thing with Zion. Don't expect to get Rookie of the Year when you only played half the year. It doesn't matter how much you're balling, and it doesn't matter about the popularity contest. It's about have you been playing the whole time, your whole body of work. And if you have half the body, then, it's not going to work. So let's continue.
And Ingram and Lonzo Ball and Drew Holiday and now, on these guys around him, if it tails off. But to suggest that a guy, even if Zion plays at a slightly higher level than Ja, he's not going to play way higher level, that will have as much value as a dude who's done it for 40 extra games? Get out of here. If someone votes for Zion, they're just wrong.
Brandon Roy won it. He played 57 games. That was 06-07. So how many games would about
but Ja
roughly...
wasn't in the league. That's the point. It's not just like an Embiid year where
we have seen it where people haven't played the entire season.
But Max, here's the point.
As I said,
Max, here's the point. It's almost like being on what is it called, the seesaw or whatever. But if Ja descends at the same time Zion ascends, then you have then the argument that Jay and I are making makes total sense. Now, you make total sense.
Not really, because Ja's been playing the whole season. You can't get back those 40 games. Especially, Zion's going to be more fresh than Ja. So, obviously, he's coming off injuries and all that. But, like I said, he's got 40 extra games on his legs, and he still played at a high level. So, again, I don't see how Zion Williamson could just jump in from out of nowhere and, even though he's a baller, but you can't snatch that from Ja. That's just disrespectful. So, let's continue.
Zion comes on the scene and he busts onto the scene and he wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
But Ja doesn't change.
Then Ja wins.
Yeah.
Then Ja wins.
And he might be on a minutes
Ja
restriction.
wins.
They're going to be worried about the health with this guy.
You'd be right.
Okay, so what's the cutoff point, dude? I'm sorry about stopping him again, but what's the cutoff point? So how many games would Zion Williamson have to play in before you can consider him being Rookie of the Year? So what if he only came back and only played 10 games, but he averaged like 30 points a game? Would that be enough? What's the cutoff point to where you wouldn't consider Zion Williamson for Rookie of the Year when Ja's been playing the whole year? Is there a cutoff point? Like I said, if he comes back and he plays 10 games, but he balls out, is he still going to be Rookie of the Year? You see what I'm saying? Where's the cutoff point? Because I don't think it should be. You coming in half the season, Ja's got 40 more games playing than you and 40 more games on his legs, and you want to immediately throw him in there? Nah, you can't do that to Ja. And what's the cutoff point that you would stop considering Zion Williamson for Rookie of the Year? So let's continue.
If Ja gets hurt, knock wood, that doesn't happen. Or if Ja descends, not just like a tick, Ja, the floor would have to cave in the way he's played. And does anyone here think the floor is caving in on Ja
I'm not
Morant?
gonna say, all I'm going to say, though, is from playing in the league, you do hit a rookie
ball. Yeah.
You do hit that. Your legs get heavy. We haven't seen that in Ja Morant handle that. I think Zion might be different because he has missed those games.
Ja legs ain't getting heavy.
Long-term, Jay.
Ja got anti-gravity legs.
And in all fairness, it's not about what will happen. It's what has a shot at happening.
I think it's
a
so
shot
far.
that Zion.
And it's about what happened. And what we know what happened was that Ja's been playing this whole season and Zion hasn't. He's just now coming on the scene. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Zion Williamson, but you have to be on the court to be considered for certain awards. And if you only played half the season, that'd be an insult to Ja to even consider Zion for a Rookie of the Year. So I don't know. Let's continue.
There is a shot that a narrative could be formed, like barring injury, of course. Let's leave that out. That a narrative could be formed where writers mistakenly give the award to the wrong guy. That's true, but that would have to be a huge
And be mindful, Ja Morant does play with a couple of veterans. Jay Crowder's been around the league for a while.
Yeah.
Valanciunas has been around the league for a while. Jaren Jackson can play.
Dylan Brooks is a bad boy, too.
Exactly.
Brandon Ingram's averaging 25
Jay,
points a game.
purely
on 40 from
basketball,
three.
who do you think ends up having a brighter future?
Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
I hate to project upon a player's future because I want everybody to do well and make a lot of money. I get worried about, can you really retrain yourself how to land